What's up, you guys? It's me, Oleander, and I'm here today with one of my 9 siblings. This is Jade.
Hello.
She's she's not used to social media. She has no social media. So what we're gonna do today is I'm just gonna go and react to some of the hate comments that I got. People try to call me a white supremacist, a Nazi, what else, a fascist?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of shit that doesn't apply to me. I'm gonna call them out for that. And then when that's all said and done, we're gonna talk about some of our most paranormal experiences at our Nana's house, all right? So let's start with, first I do wanna say that just because I'm talking over here, I don't want anybody to go over to those channels and start attacking them, or I'm not gonna try to weaponize a fan base against somebody else. Okay, that's weird. That's kind of like cultish to me. Like, what are you, a cult leader?
Very childish.
Yeah, do you lead people to do your bidding, or can you do it by yourself? I don't need anybody to do anything for me. So we're gonna start with, this flash is throwing me off. We're gonna start with, and I am gonna put screenshots on the screen because a lot of them tried to delete shit, but I don't play that. We are gonna start with Jasmine Ambrosia, who took it too far, and now we have a spiritual beef. That's going above just petty online shit. We have a fucking problem forever now. Forever. So let's read what she came and said to me. Mind you, I've never spoken to this person in my life ever. I know nothing about her. And I'll touch more on that later. I've never commented on her channel except for one time, and this was after all of that. I went over there and I said something to her. Okay, which I'm gonna take accountability for the things that I said. Okay, I'm going to. I'm not sorry for what I said, but I'm gonna own up to it, okay? So she came over here and said, if you are a Yahtzee, a Nazi, I think we can say that on YouTube. Just say that you didn't need to dance around it for 20 minutes, babes. And I responded with, I'd figured you'd show up and say some dumb shit. You clearly haven't watched any of my videos. Because if you're going to come over here and call me a Nazi, then you have no fucking idea anything about me at all. In fact, you can go, anybody who knows any of my content knows that I use music, like the information model of magic in my craft, which is inherently technological, right? So there was my favorite rapper. He was on my top 5, which I almost decided to start rapping before I decided to come into the witchcraft game, but I did this instead. So I have a top 5. He was in my top 5, pretty high up, and he was putting Nazi symbolism in his videos and stuff. I don't know if he was promoting it or if he was trolling or whatever the fuck, but I don't support him anymore for that. I deleted all the shorts that had his music in it. Yeah, I don't like that kind of level of hate, okay? So, and then you can go on my Q&A video from a couple months ago, and I explained in there, one of the reasons I don't collaborate with other creators is because they could turn out to be maybe a Nazi, all right? So nice try, but no. Let's read a little further. I talked some shit back. She deleted some stuff. I said, yes, the easiest thing for people like you to do is claim that the person is racist or transphobic or ableist or whatever word you people use to discredit somebody because they disagree with you. You can fuck off with that. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. But I'm not the one, because I'm not, bitch. And she said, people like me? What do you mean by that? You can go read if you want. I'll put it here. But what I meant by that was people who go to the extreme. So when you call somebody a Nazi or a white supremacist when they're not. That's just a way to dehumanize a person, to make it easier for their followers to come and attack you because they think that you are a despicable person, right? So that's a tactic she was using. People like that. Has nothing to do with anything else except for that, okay? So we're not gonna twist that around. She went on to say some dumb shit, and her little friends jumped in, and she kept calling me stuff like, what's the next thing she called me? Oh, she called me a member of the KKK and said I should put my white robe on. I said something like, put your tits away, because this is her. I hate white straight men. I hate them, but look at me, white straight men. This is her video. This is her fucking pictures on her shit. This is her. Like, bitch. Like, what are you doing, bitch? Is that witchcraft? Shut the fuck up. So, what else? She went on to try to just call me, saying I support the American Gestapo, saying I only have sympathy for white children. Is Koa white?
No. Well, half white.
Yeah.
And Filipino.
Yeah. So one of my biological children is not white. Koa, the digitizer of the symbols in the grimoire for our bloodline. Not white. Talking about how I support the American Gestapo, which is just shit they repeat over and over in their little echoing shit. I support the deportation, and this has nothing to do with anybody else. This is not anyone else's opinion. This is my opinion. It's probably not even some of my family's opinion. My opinion is that they should deport gang members, violent gang members, rapists, and murderers who are running free in our streets, who already broke the law to get into this country. If that makes me some sort of evil person, then call me evil. Is it evil?
No.
That's what I support. I do not support, once again, I have to repeat myself because these people are... I'll repeat myself one more time. I don't support the tearing apart of the families. If there's a farm worker out there working on a farm and they just go and snatch him up and he's been here for 40 years working his fucking ass off and he's taking care of his kids and stuff, I don't support that. Got it? Understand? Do you fucking get it? All right, moving on. So I'm gonna stand on that. I stand on that till the death of me. She kept talking a bunch of shit, called me ill-informed, and kept calling me racist and other things. So I called her a fat bitch. She kept going on with it. So I said, you're picking apart my words like you do the pantry at 3 a.m. So should I have stooped to that level? And after that, she says, I am not going to stoop to that level. Bitch, you came in my orbit, stooped all the way the fuck down.
Hey, she got on your page, blatantly calling you a Nazi on the internet, where millions of people can see it. Yeah. So you calling her a fat bitch, and then what she said about your son.
There's no comparison.
She deserved more than being called a fat bitch.
Oh, she's got a lot more coming. She calls herself a priestess, but a priestess? Let me continue on. I'll get to that later. So yeah, she says, I'm going to enjoy a nice walk with my kid. That was the first kind of like, my kid can walk and yours can't. Bitch, my kid's going to walk. He's being healed every day by healers that you couldn't even fucking get access to, bitch. And then, what'd she say? Oh, I said, I hope you fall and break your face on your walk, right? And she said, like your son's spine? So you came here, you called me a Nazi, a racist, a white supremacist, that I only care about white children. Said that I was evil and whatever the fuck else. And I called you fat and said, I hope you fall and break your face. And you talked shit about my son. My son, Eric, which is a name passed down for many generations in our family. You can go look up the name and see where it's from. But, so then her friends started coming over and talking shit to me. Saying I'm a textbook definition of this and that and that. Bitch, I wasn't even talking to you. What's her name? _magpie_. Bitch, fuck you. You're not shit. You're not shit. Let's see. This person, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna touch on something with that girl. So I did Jasmine Ambrosia. I looked at some of her videos. She claims to do like vampire magic. That's in the realm of black magic. Not only am I a witch, but I'm a black magician, obviously. I wrote a grimoire of black magic, of diabolical witchcraft. So I'm not just a witch. And bitch, I'm a warlock when I need to be too. Do you know what a warlock is? Probably not. But somebody who does vampire magic doesn't need a Snapchat filter in every single video. Somebody who does vampire magic is siphoning life force from other people, including beauty. So somebody who does vampire magic looks younger than they are. They look healthy. They look like they don't need a Snapchat filter. And then let's move on to a bitch who deleted her stuff. What was her name? Abby the Witch. You supported Jasmine Ambrosia talking shit about my paralyzed son. But you were shaming me for calling her fat. And you posted, which you deleted, so I'm not really gonna spend that much time on you. You posted that you are against such and such and such and such an ableist. Your master is an ableist. She resorted to talking shit about my son. You support that?
And I think when you bring in children into conflicts with other people, it just shows your character. So if you want to come in and talk shit about a child who got shot at a very young age and may never walk again, but he will. It just shows what type of scummy, disgusting human being you are. And for everyone who follows her, you are supporting that as well, and you're also fucking disgusting. And you will get what you deserve.
Yeah, you'll get what you deserve. So let's move on to, and I do want to give a shout out to Curse Kuberle or whatever the fuck her name is. She did come in here and try to have a logical conversation with me. I am a logical person. I do enjoy a good logical conversation. However, when they keep all of them, the whole little group of them, kept pushing the same author, the same piece of literature, I'm not going to read it because, as you know, I have degrees in psychology, so this is very basic psychology. I'm going to explain the confirmation bias. When somebody wants to confirm something they say, they will seek out a piece of literature that confirms everything that they're saying. And it becomes sort of like a Bible to them, okay? And they start pushing that everywhere to prove their point. It's biased. And when you guys are all promoting it, I'm starting to think maybe you're just over here promoting a book. But yeah, I'm not reading any super extremist left-wing propaganda, because that's what it is. I'm not reading any super right-wing propaganda, because that's what it is. That's why I said I'm somewhere in the middle, and I already stated that in the last video. So we're gonna move on to Activist Witch, who I already don't like. Not like I've conversated with them before or conversed with them before or had any interaction with them before, but they did pop up in my shit trying to push the same author and the same leftist extremist viewpoints on me. But I already knew that she is racist against white people, for sure. And I don't know if I'm misgendering her. I might be, because I don't know. So yeah, you gotta kind of walk on eggshells with those people, because they'll flip the fuck out and call you white supremacist and whatever the hell else, surf and turf, some shit or something like that. They'll call you all of that if you don't know what they are. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be blatantly fucking brutal with this person. The reason I don't like her is because she attacks white women who don't have her extremist views. I'm pretty sure the whole entire witchcraft community knows of Alwyn Oak. I don't fuck with her. I don't, she's a different type of witch than me. But she's doing her own thing independently. Doesn't bother anybody. I've never seen any sort of drama or controversy over there at all. She minds her own business. She makes beautiful videos. She does her own thing. Who the fuck would attack her? And Heath Witch. Who the fuck would bother her? The problem is that they're naturally beautiful women, and that's something you'll never be. But let's move on to the owl and the wolf. This person tried to gaslight the shit out of me. You can go look at that thread. I was genuinely confused at first until I realized what she was doing, or him, whatever they are. They spent hours trying to gaslight me into believing that I said something that I didn't say. And then she even timestamped it and said I said what she said I said when I didn't. And it can be verified with anybody, by anybody. Anybody can go look and see. She said she directly quoted me, but she didn't directly quote shit that I said. I don't know what she was doing, but it didn't fucking work. You can't gaslight me. So I hope this shines some light on who I am and what I'm about. The drama with everyone else except for Jasmine Ambrosia is dead. Fuck you guys. I know you guys thought I was gonna call out a bigger channel. She didn't say shit to me. She didn't come over here and do shit to me. She didn't call me a white supremacist or a Nazi or any crazy extreme shit, right? She never came to my video talking shit or nothing like that. I responded to the atmosphere that these people are creating within the community. I want to say something important, okay? And they're telling me I'm going to be on the wrong side of history. I don't think so. I think that my viewpoint is pretty logical. I think that most people, including people that are not my skin color, would understand what I'm saying. I had a very important thing to say. Yes. So how history is going to play out in this situation, because I've seen the scenes, is the witches of the future are going to look back at this and they're going to be able to determine who is a real witch and who is not. Because the difference between me being an actual witch and practicing witchcraft, the actual practice of witchcraft, and not just sitting there and talking about witchcraft. Those are fans of witchcraft. There's some of us on here, but they're falling off because it's more profitable, I guess, and popular to be someone who sits and talks about witchcraft than to actually practice it like I do. You're not a witch. You're saying I'm not a witch? You're not a witch. You're a fan of what the fuck I do. You're a fan of my life and the way that I live it and the actual witchcraft that I do. You're not gonna find a shit ton of videos of me sitting here like, witchcraft topic this, witchcraft topic that. Bitch, I'm practicing it. I'm living it. It's that simple. Those are fans of witches. And then you have a small percentage of online witches that are actually witches and in the practice of it. It's that simple. There's a huge divide. History will see that you guys were fans of us, and they will see that we actually practiced. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Sometimes I have a hard time getting my point across. So yeah, I'm not even going to touch on little Igor right here. She was hitting on me and asking me if I wanted to kiss her and stuff. She deleted a bunch of stuff to make it look like I was just being a super mega bitch to her. They did that too, and she kept editing her shit out. So yeah, she was just a super manipulative person. I don't even think she makes content, but fuck you. So yeah, that's it. If anybody doesn't like what I said, I also don't believe that anybody should be killed for speaking their mind. Whether they're saying you something you like or not, they don't deserve to be killed. He didn't deserve, what was his name?
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to be killed.
So Jasmine Ambrosia calling you a Nazi. I don't fucking like that. Does that mean that you should get gunned down for saying like disgusting fucking things? No.
So that's the end of that. Bitch, we got beef for life. Offline. Fuck this internet shit. We have beef for life. There's no way out of it. You think you were some sort of priestess? You have no fucking idea who you're fucking with. When it comes to my bloodline, you're fucked, bitch. Anyways, let's talk about... Okay, let's talk a little bit about Nana. You look like Nana. You have the cheekbones. You have it all. You look like her. You remind me of her. And she used to always say that she was Cherokee Indian.
Yeah.
And that's where she got that thick hair and those facial structures. And so, if that's the case, we are a little tiny bit of it. And I'm proud of that. And I've always been proud of that since I first got on here and I spoke about Nana. So let's talk about the paranormal experience. I'll let you start because that house was haunted.
Well, no, because you saw it before I did.
Yeah, because...
So you have to tell yours and then I'll tell mine.
All right.
Yours was previous to
Okay, so when I was 7, we had a bunk bed in that back room. It was a trailer. We're white trash. No shame in it. We're white trash. But we grew out of that, okay? We
transcended.
Yes, we used our fucking minds and our abilities to get out of that situation, which we did. So, I don't feel privileged in anything that we can all get out of. Just because I'm white doesn't mean that
We aren't fucking privileged.
No.
Other viewpoints on it is that we're white. We're automatically born privileged.
Did that privilege us out of the system? And no, it didn't. And there's nothing that we can do that other people can't do. We're all equal. We all have opportunities, okay? In this country, we do. So you're not going to shame me for being white. But that back bedroom, the one that you were in when you were a teenager, before they did the add-on on the side, that room was haunted, and that was mine and Richard's room. And he was on the top bunk and I was on the bottom bunk, and I remember laying there and I saw I described it when I was little as an alien foot going up the ladder. The ladder was at the end of the bed, like one of those old cheap metal bunk beds, right?
Yeah.
The alien foot was standing there and it just took itself up onto the top bunk. Looking back now, I know that it was a demon, but my whole life I went thinking that there was an alien in that room. I'm not kidding.
So, I lived with my Nana from 10 to 18, so I lived in that house for 8 years. And I was in that room. That was my bedroom, and it was a trailer, so my bedroom was right here, and it faced out into the kitchen and the, dining room, and there was a bar. And I turned over one night, and I looked out, and there was... I've always called it an alien. Because I don't know, man. I believe in a lot of different things. It could be an entity, a demon, a fucking skinwalker, who knows.
Yeah.
But all you could see... all it had was a huge, long head. It was pale white, and it had humongous hands, and it was holding its head and running. And, you couldn't see anything. Only a head. So a head was just running back and forth. And I said, oh... closed my eyes and turned over. Also in that house, something grabbed my foot when I was on the bed, and you would just hear like pacing in the hallway, like walking.
Yeah. That house was scary. That house was scary, but Nana had an energy about her that was just scary. So, but when my sister gets scared, she calls on Jesus to protect her spiritually, and I admire that. Yeah.
It's always worked.
So no hate on that. If, like I said, call on whatever deity. Don't call on a deity. Do what you want. You don't have to push your beliefs on others. I love that she calls on Jesus for protection. I think it's awesome. And she's always done it, so that works. But what about the black long hair? Because that one's been in this house. The Whitefoot.
So, oh my gosh. So I've had I don't know what it would be, an entity.
Let's light this.
An entity that's followed me. So I lived in California, then I moved to Texas, and now I live in Mushroom Forest. And I was in a family member's bedroom in a house that they grew up in, and I just happened to like look over, and there was this pale white entity, like white, and all I could see was her feet, and she was wearing a dress, and I know it was a female, and she just ran by, like just by the door, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got a divorce, and I moved into my own house, and I was very sad and depressed, and that's when they get me, is when I'm vibrating low. And I was in my house in the living room, and I saw her run into my room, and I thought, okay, no, I'm just imagining things. But my cat and my dog were in my room, and my cat like hissed, screamed me out, ran out, and my dog followed her. And I thought, oh, well, I'm not staying in this house right now. I put some scripture on. This was like 7 years ago. Put some scripture on the TV, and I left the house. And I haven't seen her since. But I haven't been like suicidal in a long since then. But yeah, I only see and hear scary things when I'm like at a low point.
Yeah, but you have a natural gift. You were definitely born with a natural gift to be able to see spirits and sense spirits ever since you were little.
Yeah.
I remember you being little and doing it. But the earliest time that I remember you doing that was probably the time our cousin, you guys were sleeping in that back room, and she said you woke up in the middle of the night and you were just laughing maniacally.
Yeah.
So you just sat up and you were like,
yeah, and like my dreams, now that I'm getting older, I don't know if it's like visions or what, but I have some crazy things that happen to me in my dreams, which is scary. Can I tell them about the how this place used to be haunted?
Yes, tell them. You can tell
them. I came to visit my sister here like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you guys hadn't been here that long.
Yeah, 5 years. 6 years. And
she has a pull-out couch that turns into a bed, so that's where I slept. And it wasn't scary at first, and then I pulled out the bed. All the kids were already sleeping because they were much younger. Everyone was in bed. My sister and her husband were in here, and she had like a toddler, no, like an infant that was still on bottles. And she kept all of her bottles in the island in the kitchen in a drawer. So when you open them, the bottles roll back and forth. I heard from the hall where the kids would be. And it wasn't like adult. You could tell it was little pitter-patters, little feet. They were turning the doorknob, then they were running. And it was pitch black. So I'm hearing the doorknobs being fucked with and tiny little baby feet running at me at a fast pace. So I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? It's gonna get me. So I turn the light on. Boom. Nothing there. I get up. I check all the kids. They're all freaking passed out. And I said, okay, whatever. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I lay back down. Knock on the back door, which my head was facing. Knock on the door. 1. I said, no. Lord. Please, Lord Jesus. Then after that knock, I lay there and I listened, and they got into the kitchen and they were pulling the bottle drawer open and close, open and close, open and close. And by that time, when I heard that, I called my sister. I said, I'm sleeping on your bedroom floor.
She did. She came and slept on my floor. But I believe that that was the spirit of the little kid that drowned in the river. And they just come here because we have kids their age, and they...
A fun environment.
Yeah, so I think that's what it was. But are we done? Do you want to talk about anything else? You don't want to talk about your experience with the Ouija board? People ask me about that all the time. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'll tell them.
Okay.
I love talking about paranormal. So, lived in California. My best friend, when we were probably like 15, she had how do you say this? A generational Ouija board that was passed down from her grandma to her mom, and now Shayna probably has it. So any house that they moved to, they would bring the Ouija board. It stayed in a certain place in the house. We decided to take it to an orange grove and turn our car headlights on and sit in the middle of it. Nothing happened there, but this is where it went wrong. Nothing was happening, so I was like, oh, you're a bitch. Like, I called it names.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're a bitch. You don't want to talk to us, whatever. Horrible mistake, dude.
Big mistake.
So we went back, put the Ouija board, and I was sleeping in the house with the Ouija board, her house. And all of a sudden, I hear like screaming in my ears, and I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't move. I couldn't even breathe. It was like red behind my eyes and tiki masks. Like, I can't even look at them or be around them now, but they were there was like 6 of them, and they were just floating, and it was screaming in my ears. And so in my head, I thought, Jesus, please help me. Right when I said that, gone. And I like sat up and I like breathed again. And then I went home that day and I could feel it. Ooh, I'm getting the chills talking about it. I could feel the heaviness of it. It followed me. Ooh, my whole body is in chills. It followed me to my grandma's house, who raised me. And I didn't know what to do. So I went on the computer and I Googled, I'm like 15 years old. How to get a demon to stop following you. When I did that, it made it very angry. My entire body went into chills and I like froze. And so I stopped doing that. I got into my bed and I had a cute little pink Bible and I opened it. And then I called my friend who was super religious, and her family was religious. So she came and picked me up, took me to the church. And there was a lady that went there who was studying demonology. She just so happened to be in the parking lot right where we parked, and we told her, and she made me say a whole bunch of things and promised God that I would never touch a Ouija board again, and it was gone. I have never touched a Ouija board, but I crave it though. Like,
but don't.
Thinking about playing with the Ouija board since that happened, like I want to do it so bad, but I won't ever do it.
I don't own one.
That friend moved, and it was like homecoming a couple years later, and she still has the Ouija board in her house. And we were in the bathroom getting ready, putting on our dresses, and one of our other friends was there, and I was telling her about what happened. I started replaying what had happened with the Ouija board the first time in her house, and it cut off my breathing. My legs started turning purple and blue, and I was like, okay, we're not going to talk about this. It did not want me to talk about what happened because it's attached to it's in their house.
Yeah, it's their bloodlines. Yeah.
It was terrifying. But just like talking about it, and I was wearing a cute little like poofy dress, looking down at my legs turning blue and like cutting off my breathing, talking sensation. I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's what that entity is that followed me.
Maybe you have spirits
just
follow
stuck
you.
with me from the Ouija board, and then I saw it, and it just follows me.
Maybe. And they can appear as different to everybody. What I don't believe is that we can make them manifest on our demand. I think they will appear when they so fucking choose to. But what's crazy is, remember Jim and Helen's house?
Yeah.
That was my first encounter with Master Leonard. That is when he first came to me and was like, I am your guardian. This is what it is. So it's crazy that we can be so different but still get along and still be fine with each other. You don't have any problems with my spiritual path, and I don't have any problems with you. And I think it's like everyone should be able to think and be who they want. And if you're a sheep and you go and unfollow somebody else, or you go and mob somebody else's shit because they don't agree with you, or because another witch said, do this, or I'm not going to be your friend, and you go and you do that, knowing damn well the person that you're doing it to is not what they're saying that they are, you're a sheep and you can't think for yourself. And I don't want you here. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I hoped you liked meeting my sister Jade. She is a sweetheart. She's super empathetic and will cry literally if she sees anything sad going on. So don't be mean to her.
Yeah, it's funny because she is I'm not saying you're a dark person, but you do the dark and I am the light. And we're yin and yang, or yang and yin, whatever
there we go,
it is.
bitch. All right, you guys, so I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Bye, bitches.